Hi, it's Jennifer with Jennifer at Home. Today I'm going to be replacing the tail light in my husband's car. Someone backed into the car in the parking lot and broke the tail light. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to replace the tail light in this Mercedes C-300. So here's where the tail light was broken, and I have ordered a brand new one. So I have a brand new one from Mercedes-Benz, and I'll be using this brand new one to replace the broken one. Okay, so these are basically the only two tools that you'll need for this job: a flathead screwdriver and an 8mm socket. So the first thing we need to do is remove this long plastic piece, and it has these little plastic pins that we will just carefully remove with a screwdriver. So just put your screwdriver right under the edge and carefully just lift it, twisting the screwdriver back and forth. There's a little plastic reservoir in there that this snaps into, so just carefully remove it by slowly twisting it back and forth. And then after you get it loose enough, it'll pop right out of there, and we'll do this to every one of these little plastic pins. And there we have it. It pops out just like this. Now once you take this little plastic pin out, here's the little plastic reservoir, and it's like a little sleeve, and these come out really easily. So just wiggle a little bit and just lift it and pull it right out. And there it is. And this pin, when we're all done, we'll push this back in and slide this pin right back into it. When removing all of the pieces and parts from your car, make sure you put them in a container. I'm going to put mine in this little plastic cup here, and so that way I won't lose anything that I need for this job. Now once we get all 5 of the little pins and the little tabs taken out of this plastic piece, we're just going to put our screwdriver under the bottom edge and lift it up carefully so that it's loose. And then we're going to pull it up, and it goes right up under the glass here. So we want to lift it up and then carefully just slide it right out of there. And there we have it. And this is a really good time to clean in behind it. Okay, now that we have this plastic trim off and have it all cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and open this door. This is a compartment inside that houses the first aid kit. So we're going to take that out and move it out of the way. And then in here, this is where we're going to do our work. So right here, I've carefully lifted the rubber up and then reached behind and carefully pulled the lining down so that I could access the light behind this panel. After I remove this door and set it out of the way, I'm going to reach in here to start removing 4 nuts. There are 4 threaded posts with nuts that hold the light in place. I have loosened the 4 nuts with an 8mm socket. Now I will loosen them with my fingers to remove all 4. They look like a nut with a washer attached. There are 4 of these, 1 at the side, a lower one, and 2 at the top. I'll just start removing them one at a time. These posts are very long and very easy to see. Okay, so now I will remove the last one. And here it is. The next thing I will remove is the electrical connection, the light itself. Here we have very delicate wires. So what I'm going to do is reach up here to the connection. There are 2 pressure points, 1 on each side. I'll take a hold of those with my finger and thumb and push those in. And then at the same time I'm pressing those in, I will carefully start to wiggle this little unit that plugs in and pull it and loosen it until I have it disconnected. Okay, and here it is. This is what it looks like once it's disconnected. It just pulls off easily. Just push the 2 tabs, wiggle it, and pull it straight toward you. and it pulls off very easily, and this is just what it looks like. And here's a look at my very dedicated film crew. Okay, now when I got in there, I saw that there were 4 posts and 4 nuts holding this in place. And I also, so I've disconnected those. I've taken the nuts off the post. And then I've also disconnected the electrical. So what I'm going to do, once you do that, is just wiggle this. Oh, there we go. And it lifts right out because everything is disconnected. So here are the 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these had the nuts on them. And then here is where the electrical connects. So I'll take this and set it aside and go ahead and grab the new one. Okay, so here we have the new one, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in place. And this has a little tab right here, so we'll want to get this end in first. We'll want to slide this right up into place. Slide that right in, and then we're going to want to line it up so that the posts all go through the proper holes. So just wiggle it just a little bit, and you can maneuver it right into place. Okay, now that I have the light in place, I'm going to go back through and put all of the nuts back on. I'm going to tighten it by hand, and then I'll come back through and carefully tighten them with the 8mm socket. Okay, now that I have everything secure and tightened in place, I'm going to take the connector, and then when I plug it back in, I'm going to squeeze these 2 little pegs on the end so that it'll snap really easily right back into place. We'll put it right up here, and we'll just carefully push that right back into place and get that plugged in and secure. And there we have it. Now we'll just put everything back in. I'll put the first aid kit back in place and put the door on, and we'll have everything set. And then all we'll need to do is just test the light and make sure everything works. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start putting everything back. I didn't end up needing to take this off, which is a good thing because that would have been a real challenge. So I need to just start carefully lifting up the rubber, and this trim will go right back into place. And once I get this back into place, I'm going to put the plastic cover on over here and all of the rubber pegs. Okay, now I'll just put the first aid kit right back where it goes, and then I'll take the door. The door has a little piece that sticks out right there, and down here is a little groove, and this first aid door for this cover will just sit right down in there, and you just lift that right back up into place and turn the handle. Okay, now I'm going to put this trim back in. I'm going to put it right here up under the glass. I'll slide it right up into place, and I'll put it up under the glass first very carefully, just like that. It slides around. And then I'm going to lay it right in place, and I'm going to push this down. You can actually just do this with your fingers. Get it right in place, and then there's a little tab down here that I'm going to push back right at the very end. There's a tiny little tab, and we want to make sure that tab goes right underneath this place so that I'll hold it in place. So I'll slide that right in, and there we have it. Now all I have to do is take these little rubber sleeves, and I'll start putting these in. Sometimes you can put these in with your hands, or you can, if they don't go, you can slightly tap them with the end of a screwdriver just really easily, but they should go right back in by hand. And then once I get these in place, the next thing to do is just to take the little rubber pin, put it right in, and press that down. And once again, if you're having a hard time getting those to pop down into place, just carefully take the end of a screwdriver and just give it a tap, and it'll go right in place. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of these in, and the job will be done. I hope you found this video helpful and useful should you ever need to replace a taillight in your automobile. It's not really that difficult. It just takes a couple of tools and a little bit of patience. I would love for you to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell so that you'll be notified every time I have a new video coming out.